Hi, it's Henry again. And I guess the number one reason why people cannot get off Domino, and I know you're going to laugh at me a little bit about this, is because they just don't know how. What I mean by that is, in the last couple months, I've been looking at the market. I've been speaking to customers. I've been speaking to partners, to professionals, people who really are in the game. And again, I realize this market is very fractured. Ever since HCL acquired Domino, it's been really difficult to get off the platform. So primarily the tools out there are very specific tools. Dump it into XML, PDFs, SharePoint. Now, don't misunderstand me. Some of these tools are fantastic. So I'm not really belittling the tools. It's more about there is really no overall process or overall strategy of how to move off the platform. So basically, these people are stuck and they're very frustrated, and that's why all of them want to move off, but really don't know how. So in this particular whole breach, let's call it, HCL comes in and says, okay, why don't you just move off to the VoltMX platform, their local platform, which they acquired from a company that acquired it from another company. What it doesn't really matter. And they're putting together some ties together with Domino to be able to do it, like the REST API and so on. And frankly, it's not a bad idea where they're going with this. They're basically saying, if you look at their particular white paper, they just put them out to the CEOs. And by the way, HCL, when you put out a white paper, it's really based on facts. So you put out a lot of numbers, like 50% cheaper or 250K per application. Where do those numbers come from? But you know what? That's a different discussion. That's a different video. Let's assume those facts are correct. And I tend to actually agree with HCL strategy, what they're trying to do. If you think about it, look at the various local platforms out there. Let's look at, I don't know, ServiceNow spawned off of the application. Look at Salesforce got one local platform that was based on an application. SAP got one. I think my car's got a local platform now. What I'm saying is they're looking at Domino and saying, okay, let's use this as a jumping off point because Domino is dying and see how we can help people with Voltimex to transition them. So that's really what the white paper is about, really. But if you look at the white paper closely, what it's about is you can't do this. That's the number one reason. It's too expensive. It's too risky. Just go with us. We own the code. Oh, that's a good one. BM owned the code when they wanted to migrate their email, and look what happened there. But that's a different discussion. We own the code, and we can help you move off. Just believe in us. The reason I think this is actually a good idea is really for a very specific scenario, and it's a very valid scenario. If you would just Google and say top 10 things CIOs are worried about in 2022, one of the bigger ones up there is budgets. Because as the recession's hitting, budgets get cut, employees get laid off. The CIOs are aware of this. And is it cheaper just to stay on Domino, obfuscated with VoltMX? The demos they show is how data moves back and forth. You can keep inside the NSF, all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, it's probably cheaper. The problem with it, of course, is that you're still in the 20th century. You still don't have access to your data. You have no ability to do really any kind of agility and to make any kind of decisions, especially in the face of a recession. Let's not even talk about compliance. But having said all this, there are quite a few companies out there that kind of don't care about that. Kind of care more about, oh my God, what do I'm going to do with my current resources? Are the risks too high? Should I depend on HCL to be able to cover me, because they will support Domino as long as that particular dying zombie produces revenue for them. I'm not going to get into if VoltMX is a viable low-code platform or not. That's not really where I'm going with this, but their strategy is how they outlined it is good. Now, can they deliver on that strategy? That's a different video. You can actually see what Gartner said about that particular product and their strategy, but I'm not even going to go down that particular path, because if I start talking about Forrester and Gartner and those particular analyst firms and how they're paid off, that's a different discussion, a different video. So, in a very specific scenario, if you really want to put your head in the ground and hope this whole recession and everything just goes by, if you feel that your competitors are not going to be ahead of you after the recession is over, if you feel that's the risk you're willing to take, then this is perfectly a fine approach. What I've discovered based on everything that everybody that I've spoken to in the last 2 months is you can't create a framework. You can't create a process. What I've done is I've spoken to quite a few different people, and that content you're actually going to come out with podcasts and so on. You listen to them, understand what really should happen during the transformation process, how it could be, how it could happen, how could you actually minimize the risk and the budget, and be able to get the best of breed tools. If you want to listen to that, then you're going to be really pleased with what I'm about to offer you. Thank you.